Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, it's that time. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Marlene Marks, your host, bringing you the top story from Israel and surrounds every Monday to Thursday on this platform, on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, where you can find us at the Israel Brief. And if you want to receive your daily news update, all you have to do is subscribe. It is as easy as that. So let's get to it. Let's take a look at those top stories making headlines. And we begin with COVID-19. And we have some very positive stats. For the first time since December, Israel has seen its lowest rate of seriously ill patients. This comes at a time when we are discussing the possibility of opening up the airports as well. And it has been confirmed that Israel will allow 3,000 Israelis a day back into the country without requiring permits. Yesterday, we reported that the country is hoping to reopen the skies before the festival of Pesach or Passover that takes place later this month, and that we will also discuss opening the country to people who have been vaccinated or have recovered from COVID-19 or can present a negative test. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has announced that any healthcare professionals that are not vaccinated will not be allowed to deal with patients in seriously ill wards. Hadassah Hospital has taken this one step further by banning all non-vaccinated staff from seeing patients. And in an interesting headline, the Palestinian Authority has admitted that jabs that were sent into the territory for distribution amongst healthcare workers has actually gone to government officials and members of the Palestinian national soccer team. And it's very interesting that they have admitted to this. Meanwhile, we've heard that Austria and Denmark will break ranks from the EU and look to Israel for producing vaccines. The world is looking at Israel, which is the current leader in the vaccination rollout program, as a way not just to how to roll out the vaccine, but also to lift lockdowns. We really are the data lab for the world, and we can expect the leaders of both Austria and Denmark in the country soon. In other news, Defense Minister Benny Gantz has said that his ministry will do everything in its power to protect hundreds of Israelis, including himself, that could be sanctioned by the ICC should they press ahead with their proposed investigation into alleged war crimes committed by Israel and Hamas. Now, the ICC has no jurisdiction over Israel because Israel is not a signatory to the founding document of the International Criminal Court, which is the Rome Statute. Neither, incidentally, are the Palestinians. However, the ICC has assumed jurisdiction over Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem. Many countries have come out in support of Israel, very, very vocally, saying the ICC simply has no jurisdiction over the Jewish state. And in other news, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, addressed the UN Security Council and asked them to censure Iran for the blast that took place upon a vessel that was docked in the Gulf of Oman over the weekend that belongs to Israel. Iran have said that they are not responsible for the blast. However, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that the blame falls squarely at the feet of the Iranians. These are your top stories making headlines today. Don't forget that we have original content for you to see. All you have to do is visit our website at www.layoftheland.online. You can read my article on how the winds of change have moved through the Arab world and are going down into Africa, and African states are warming up to the state of Israel. It's also on our Facebook page while you are there, if you haven't already. Please give us a like or a follow, share our content. We really, really appreciate it, especially in light of restrictions on Facebook. We're on Twitter, where you can find us at Lay of the Land 5, and on that YouTube channel we told you about earlier, the Israel Brief. And all you have to do is click on that red subscribe button. So with the Wednesday or Hump Day edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Marlene Marks, and I'll see you tomorrow for the last edition before we head off to the weekend. In the meantime, I wish you a safe and a healthy rest of your day.